We will now introduce the try-catch block. A try-catch block is a technique used to try to catch some errors that will cause problems for the user and will ultimately cause the program to abnormally end. That is, the user might enter some data that would cause the program to terminate and not to provide an opportunity to correct the mistake. This is a common problem with event-driven type graphical user interface type languages. When you start to allow users to input numbers and use those numbers in calculations, lots of things can go wrong. A user may enter bad data such as alphabetic data instead of numeric data. They may leave critical data blank. When these conditions occur, you should try to catch these program errors, which are called exceptions, by using an exception handling technique known as try-catch. You catch these exceptions before they cause a runtime error. That's the key. And handle the situation, if possible, within the program rather than having the program terminate abnormally. This is sometimes called error trapping. If you don't catch the errors, then the Visual Studio and the Windows environment will provide an error message that is not likely to be helpful to the user. For example, in my current program, if the user were to enter, say, some alphabetic data instead of numeric data for the quantity, and then click Calculate, the error message that appears is being provided by Windows, where it says input string was not in correct format. And it gives some other information, some troubleshooting tips that is not particularly user-friendly. The user is probably not going to know to handle this, and it probably simply will walk away from the program. So what we want to be able to do is to introduce a technique which will allow the user to continue and to correct the program. To do so, we go to our code, and above where the user is going to input data, I will simply type in the word try. When I do that, it automatically provides this catch and end try parts of the statement. It says they are a necessary part of the syntax. I want my code that I've already typed to be immediately beneath the try statement. So I'm going to cut this and paste it right below the try statement. So now I'm saying try this code, and then I have the opportunity to catch any error and to provide a more user-friendly way of correcting the error. For example, I can type in messagebox.show error please fix, just to have something as a placeholder right now. I could be much more specific, but you will see that at least this will allow the user to recognize their error. So if I run this version of the program, and I'll enter the same incorrect data of ABC as the quantity, and calculate, now I get the message box that simply says error please fix, and then the default OK button. And when I click OK, notice the program is still running. It did not terminate and did not give me that rather obscure error message. The user could now say, I need to correct this, calculate, and then move on. Now, you could also be very much more specific as to what the error may have been and perhaps make suggestions as to how to correct it. The catch in this example will catch any exception, but you could be very specific with errors that have to do with numeric conversions or a illegal operation or a basic calculation error such as division by 0, or if you're looking for an external file, you might have a failure of an input or output operation such as reading from a file error type. You even could prevent an out of memory type error message from being presented. And as we move along, you'll see some other examples of these type of try catches. You can even trap for more than one type of exception, so you could have multiple catch statements right here below catch and then try. So as a general rule, even if you do not get too specific with your try catch, if you have a very simple one such as this that simply has the word try and then your code that you're trying to execute followed by catch and then a very simple message box to prevent the program from terminating, at least you will do the user a favor in that regard, that they will be able to continue the program and at least attempt the process again.